Kia ora, e te whānau, and welcome back to the Planting Seeds podcast. This is a Grow With Me episode, which is just an episode of me sharing what's been going on, where I'm at, but also what's at the top of my mind. And myself and Hinepani have just returned home from Bali, and it was a trip of a lifetime. We've been saying that it was the time of our lives because we're able to give to our marriage, we're able to give to ourselves, and we're able just to let loose and have some fun. And some fun we had. We basically partied all the time. We met some amazing people. We ate good food. We scooted around the streets of Bali. One night, we actually fell off the back of a scooter with one of the locals taking us back to our villa. We stayed in an amazing villa. We were able to really enjoy ourselves, like, to put it simply. Every day we're going with the flow, and we knew that our life was waiting for us. Like, our babies were waiting for us, our life was waiting for us. So each and every day we were away, we just decided that let's just make the most of it. And it was so cool because there was a large part of me that I shared for the first time in the out-the-gate version of Rands. And that part of me, like, exists, but I don't share it too much because a lot of my purpose and mission is around growth, transformation, breaking cycles, and that's been a lot of my content. But I did set an intention that I wanted to show more of the side of me because it is who I am. And I accept that part of me, and I didn't want to hide that, and I didn't want to really feel as though I needed to hide that. And the feedback that actually came from the content that I was putting out there on Instagram was actually quite positive. People love seeing that side of me. People love seeing that side of us, I should say. And so that was really cool to be able to, I guess, explore that and be more open to that. And so now being back home, it's just been nice to be with our kids and, to get back into routine because we drank so much and because we ate so much. We're now just swinging the pendulum back into this hauora routine kind of space. And one of the things that I really feel I've come to settle within myself is that usually I'm pretty low when I come back from holidays because I have this feeling of like, man, I got to start again. In terms of eating well, training, getting back on the waka. Whereas I've just now accepted that I like this out-the-gate version of me and I like this in-routine version of me. And if that means that I have to start again, then that's just something that I have to do rather than complaining and wish that I trained and done things better while I was away. That just takes away from the experience. Whereas now I have the time, I can get back into routine and I know how to do it. So that's something that I feel is new, and it's really good just to accept it rather than wish that I had done something different, because you can't get that back. You can't go back and change things because it's already happened, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. And I just know that with the setup that we have, the mindset that we have, the way that we do things on a day-to-day, it won't take long just to get back to base. And so that's the commitment now, and I'm good with that. And I wanted to take this opportunity as well to talk about, I guess, teachings, the way of being that I've been looking to, or that I've been integrating for the last few years. I'd say for the last 3 to 4 years. And it's happened before Bali and it's happening now. And what I'm speaking to mostly is around frequency. And I had a meditation this morning. In the meditation, I got this download, or I received this message, and it said, my frequency is my experience. And the way that I interpret that is that we live a life, and our life is as it is. And oftentimes we want things for ourselves, and usually that's more than what life is. But we don't get what we want. We mostly get, if not all the time, get what we are in resonance with in terms of what we are in frequency with. So we can say something, I want this, but if we're feeling a type of way, such as if I want more money but I'm feeling scarcity, or if I want better health but we're making unhealthy choices, that's the confusion that really keeps us where we are. Because if we want more, we actually have to change our frequency. We have to change our vibration to be in harmony with it or to align with it, rather than just putting out these false hopes and wishes and not really doing the inner work required to be a vibrational match to that. And so there's going to be a lot of that spiritual corridor in this. There's going to be a lot of energy corridor in this episode. And I'm going to do my best to try and break it down. But let me try and explain what frequencies are if you're not aware. And so everything is operating on a frequency because everything is moving, which is suggesting the law of vibration. So this mic is vibrating at a particular speed. The cameras are, the light outside in the taiao, the trees, the grass, the sun, and even our bodies are vibrating at a particular frequency, but so are our thoughts and our emotions. And that's where I want to put a lot of our, I want to put a lot of the thoughts towards, which is the thoughts and the emotions aspects, because there's a charge, there's a vibrational frequency. And so the way we can look at a frequency are these lines that I'm just drawing up on your screen now. Now, there are infinite numbers of frequencies, like way more above than the ones that I've written and way more below. The lower frequencies, they would be vibrating at a much slower speed. And then the ones at the top, the higher ones, they're vibrating at a much higher frequency, which is why we can't see them. And so to go further into this too is that we have this physical dimension, this physical way of interacting with the world, and the way we interact with it is through our physical senses. And there are 5. The way we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we touch. So with our 5 senses, we interact with the physical plane. When we start to talk about frequency, vibration, wairua, spirit, we're actually talking about the higher dimension, which is the spiritual space, the energetic space, because you can't see it. You can't interact with it. However, we can participate with it using the mind, because our mind allows us, I call it, it's like the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, between the seen and the unseen. And we get that through the understanding. Right? Once we understand and we broaden our awareness, we can then participate with it, because a lot of this corridor, whether we're aware of it or not, it's still happening. Ka pai? So the more that we can understand it, the better we are able to be in the driver's seat, which is a term that I like to use in Seeds of Self, my online course. And if you want to be a part of that, by the way, go and check out the link. But anyway, as a real life example, ka pai, me and Hinepania weren't in a current financial position to go to Bali. However, in the past, when my back has been up against the wall and been in between mahi contracts, things of that nature, what I know for sure is that I need to rise above the current circumstances. I need to rise above the physical plane and tap into this whole other space that allows the possibilities to become a real thing. And so the possibility of going to Bali in the current way of looking at things suggested that maybe we shouldn't go. But connecting into a higher frequency and really using my thoughts and my emotions, as well as the shared interest between me and Hinepania, allowed the possibility for it to become something in thought. So we would think about it, we would visualize, we would talk about all the things that we would do. And a large part of what I shared at the start are the things that we spoke about. And so that creates an idea in the mind, that creates a whakaaro, that creates this emotional investment, because as you're talking about it, as you're thinking about it, you're feeling a certain way about it. And that's what pulls us up onto these higher frequencies. It's the thought and the emotional charge that we give to it. And so with that in mind, once we got onto these higher frequencies, we booked the ticket, then I started to get mahi, then things started to happen. And we made it happen because we jumped onto a higher frequency. The how of how we made it possible became possible because of the frequency that we elevated to. Whereas if we were in the space of lack, right, that would be staying on this lower frequency in the red circle here, that if we had this idea of going to Bali, but we weren't in the financial situation, and we just stayed in that frequency, stayed in that mode of being like, man, I don't think we're going to go. Oh, we can't do this right now because of such, such, and such. We would have just eliminated the possibility of actually going. And the other whakaaro that really comes to mind for me is that, yes, if we didn't go, we would probably be in the same situation. But because we went, we've given ourselves a shot to actually, one, have a great time, but shift some energy so that we're able to come back and utilize that to take us to that next stage or wherever our next stage is. And so I really just wanted to point a lot towards the frequency, because our current circumstances can really be the limitation for our expansion and our growth. But if we can tune in to the frequency of where we're at within ourselves, because our inner world reflects our outer world, whereas a lot of the time, for a lot of people, our external world is what really mirrors their internal, whereas what I practice on a day-to-day is more about where I am within myself. And that opens up a lot of possibilities and a lot of different opportunities, because the more that I focus on here, it creates what it is that I'm looking to create externally. And so that's where things are at now. And I'm glad that we went on that journey. I'm glad that we went on that holiday because of what it did for me and Hinepania. I'm glad that we went on that holiday because of now having this newfound energy towards putting it towards these things that I'm hugely passionate about, which is growth, which is helping people, and also just being able to be more expressive and sharing the things that have really, really helped me. And so I just wanted to, lastly, I guess, talk about this, to share this with you, and to also see that if it is in alignment, if this is something that you want to develop more, then maybe you would like to come into Seeds of Self. Maybe you would like to come into a community with like-minded people who are keen on breaking cycles, right? Creating transformation within their own lives. If so, check out the link below, come into Seeds of Self and join the frequency that is emanating within that space. Let's go.